What's up, Warcoders? Bayou Boogie here again, and today we're taking a look at the messages and battle logs in Warcodes. So first off, your messages are up here underneath the bell-shaped icon on your main screen. You open that up and you're going to see a list of all the battles you've either been a part of or have happened while you've been away. And there's a ton of info in these battles. So we'll just take a look at the first one here. And what we'll see is that my creature was defeated by this attacker. Shout out to Vix, looks like you're beating me down. Right here you'll see level, experience, all that kind of stuff. But the important stuff is looking at view battle. Now you can see both monsters' equipment in the lower right corner of their little icon up here. It's got the dice key showing what different dice are going on. So let's just take a quick look. So what happened here is High Dragon was the defender, so it gets to attack first. It rolled a 5. It rolled a 5 accuracy and a 4 agility with its main attack, and a 6 accuracy, 2 agility with its frost breath. If we look over here, Mildron has a low agility, so my accuracy versus his agility, my accuracy versus his agility. Both of these are hits. But because he resists my main attack, we lose a dice from that resistance. Then he's got the Aegis Stone, so we lose another dice. So this creature's doing 4d12 minus 3 damage. 2 of the dice are resisted, so he's doing 8 minus 3 damage. He's only getting 5 damage through. His backup weapon hit, we did 5 with that. So then Mildred gets to turn around and attack. He rolls a 3 for accuracy versus my 5 agility, even with the -1, so he missed. His secondary attack did hit, though, and did 10 damage. We keep coming down a little further, and we'll see the next round when High Dragon attacked. He managed to hit because his 2 would normally miss on the 4, but this 4 gets a -2 because of the Eagle Stone and the Heartstone. He's got -2 to his agility, and since they tie, the attacker gets the benefit. So he still hits, but if you look, he resisted the big damage, and we basically did 0. Down here, we knocked out a little extra 5 damage, so if you look, his health went from 90 to 84. You can't take less than 1 damage, so 1 damage got through up here, 5 damage there, so we only did 6 damage. So then it's Mildron Shieldbearer's turn to attack again. He rolls a 3 versus my 5, -1, so he misses with the main, but that secondary attack tied mine, and so he hit for 7. So he's actually doing more damage with his secondary than I managed to do with my main attack. So we keep fighting. Again, I rolled a 7 versus a 1, so I hit, but 2 dice get resisted, so that's 16 minus 3 damage, and then I got an extra 3 here, so basically 16 damage. You'll see that 84 minus 16 becomes 68. He missed with his main attack again, and it's kind of interesting. He's missed with his main attack all 3 attacks, but he's hit with his secondary all 3 times. So he's been whittling down my 46 hit points to 23 just off of those secondary attacks alone. My monster attacks again, manages to hit, does 14 minus 3, so 11 damage, gets an extra 6 damage in down here. The 3 is higher than the 1 that he gets. The 3 is higher than the 1 that he gets. So basically, whenever you're looking at these, you're comparing your accuracy to their agility on an attack, and their accuracy to your agility on a defend. These are the number of dice you're each rolling. You will note he's rolling 3 dice. His attacks I don't have a weakness on this monster, so his attacks aren't going to do any extra damage. If I had either metal or lightning as a weakness, he would get an extra dice on one of these attacks. And so that just keeps going on until eventually he managed to whittle me down. So this is a good example of a Titan build using the Flareheart, Aegis, Elemental Hearthstone, and Eagle Stone, being able to beat up smaller monsters just by wearing them down over time. I did over 60 hit points of damage to him but he was able to whittle down my 46 life, mostly by hitting me with a secondary attack. And so let's take a look at another one real fast. Let's see here. We'll look at one where I take a place. So in this attack, I'm using Spectral Wraith against Fuka-Chang. Thanks again for Vix for allowing me to use your monsters in the video. Here we can see Fuka-Chang is defending, and on the defense he rolls a 3 versus my 4 and a 2 versus my 4. He misses everything. I've only got 32 health to his 100, so I've got to dodge attacks in order to survive this. Now Spectral Wraith, I do have resistance to his main attack. I don't have anything against his weakness though, so I'm only going to be doing my 4d12 main attack, and then I have a 2d4 secondary. In this one, the 2 accuracy dice, he rolls his d4 minus 2 because Eagle and Heartstone both make him lose 1 point off of the agility, so he rolls his d4 minus 2. That gives him basically a 1. Here he got a 2. I roll my main attack, which is a d8, and then I'm getting +1 from this large eye stone, so it's a hit. And then my secondary attack does not get the bonus from the eye stone, but still hit as well. And then, of course, damage. So then he gets to return attack on me. Even with the 3 agility, I rolled a 1 that round. He gets to roll 2 of them and pick the higher one. So he rolled a 5 and a 4. He gets to use the 5. That's a hit. Luckily, I resist that Spirit to knock 1 damage off. Plus, I have the Aegis Stone, knocks a 2nd damage dice off. So he's only hitting me for 6. That secondary attack luckily missed. He rolled 2 5s, but I got a 7. So regardless of what he rolled here, he's got a d6 to roll. He could not have hit me with that attack that round. My monster turns around and attacks. Roll an 8 agility +1 for the primary attack because of that eye stone. His agility is, he rolls a 3 on a d4 minus 2, so he's a 1. So it's a full-on hit. Lots of damage getting dished out to him. Secondary attack also rolled high and hit him for a little extra bonus. He turns around, he rolls his 2d6. His highest was a 3, so that's what he uses because of that Eagle Stone. He's rolling 2, picking 1 for each attack. So he misses with the main attack, but he did grab 1 with the secondary attack. But look, that secondary did 11 damage. So we're at 51 to 15. Both of us about half of our health gone at this point in the battle. So this next round, when my monster attacks, and we both rolled 3s, but because I get +1 from my eye stone, he gets -2 from his equipment. That means it's still a strong hit, and look at those d12s rolling big for me. Lots of damage got dished out right there. And then on the 4s, I got 2 4s, so this is about as critical of a hit as you can get. We did a total of 24, 34, 45, 42 plus 8. We did 50 damage in 1 attack. So he went from 50 down to 1 in that turn. What a strong strike. He does get to attack back. Again, he's rolling his double accuracy versus my agility. He had no chance here with the low rolls, but he did sneak 1 in with a nice high roll here. For 9 damage with that secondary. Almost takes me out from 15 down to 6. But he only had 1 health left, and the next round I'm able to finish him off. So this is just a quick way of looking at how you can look at these combat logs and figure out maybe if you've attacked and you were unsuccessful, like what happened here. So this monster attacked, and I did this on purpose, I swear. But I attacked with a monster that resisted his attack. Actually, that's not the right one. But occasionally you'll attack with a monster and maybe your attack is one of their resistances, and then you'll be seeing some of your dice getting the red resist out here. You can see my secondary attack is fire, which he does resist, so my secondary is only doing 1 dice worth of damage. So that's something to watch for is, okay, we didn't plan for that. We maybe should have looked a little longer before we went. But you get to look at your opponent's equipment up here. You get to see the dice key here that translates to all of this, and you can see their rolls versus your rolls, and then the damage, and then your rolls versus their rolls, damage, and it just goes back and forth. until the combat is over. So it's a good way to review. If you had a monster that was doing well that suddenly isn't, you can take a look and see maybe you made a poor attack, maybe you... I know if I'm playing while I'm also watching a movie or something, I might start targeting resists instead of attacks on accident. Basically, I flip-flop. I'm attacking into their resist instead of resisting into their attack. So lots of little things you can learn in here, but it's just a wealth of information. And again, you can find the messages. They're right up here at the top of your screen under this bell. It also tells you after a lobby completes, you can look up here to see what position you got and how many tokens you won. So yeah, that's the combat log, and that's how to read it. If you guys have any questions, please put them down in the comments down below. Appreciate you watching, and we will see you in the swamp.